It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. Good morning to you. It's the first day of February. Indiana players in the studio with us this morning. Bill Herring, John Henry Steelman, Scott Walton joining us. Gentlemen, good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you both all with us, all three of you. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people, and the play is a 7-year itch, huh, Bill?
Yes, it's a play from the 1950s, and it was a movie starring Marilyn Monroe, and it centers around the lead character, Richard, whose wife and son are away for the summer, and shenanigans ensue.
Shenanigans ensue.
Yes.
That's a pretty good synopsis of pretty much any play.
Right,
Shenanigans
right.
ensue. And you are in this play the stage manager.
I am the stage manager, yes. Yes, and I also designed the lighting scheme and helped out with other technical aspects of the show. But the director is Heather Kanar, and the show is this weekend, opens tomorrow, the weekend of the 2nd and the weekend of the 9th.
How big is the cast?
The cast is, what do we have, 7 people?
I think so. I know it says it's 5 men, 5 women, and 1 child, but I'm not sure if we have all that stuff.
And I'm going to
We've got at least 9.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and say that John Henry is not playing the Marilyn Monroe role.
No, he is not. That role is by Michelle Gibson, and she is indeed modeling her character after the Marilyn Monroe character. So that's interesting. That's an interesting aspect of the theater show. Do you go with that aspect of the character, or do you try to do something that's different?
Yeah. Well, 7-year itch is, that's an iconic play.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a difficult play. Actually, there's a lot of technical aspects in it that I wasn't expecting. There's a lot of light cues and sound cues and things like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so you got to be on your toes.
Oh, yeah. I will be up in the light booth, too. Yeah, running the lights.
Yeah, yeah. Well, John Henry and Scott, let's find out what your roles will be in this production. Scott, we're going to start with Scott.
Well, I am playing Richard Sherman. I'm the person with the 7-year itch. Whenever I listed this, saying I was very happy to take the part, yes, and as you said, the memes came constantly about, wow, how are you going to look in that Maryland dress? So I was kind of tired of that, but this is a very taxing role. This takes place, a lot of it, in Richard's head, of him thinking, oh, he could get away with it. Well, no, he can't. He has to live with it, but he does. And all these different things that go on, and the battle inside of his head of should he do something he may regret, or shouldn't he do something maybe he will regret. So it's a tough one there.
Yeah, yeah. So you've got to battle that out.
That I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's not a physically demanding role, but or is it?
Well, I get tossed around a little bit, but more mentally taxing.
Yeah, yeah. John Henry, what about you? What are you doing?
Well, I play psychiatrist Dr. Brubaker, Richard works for a publishing company, and Dr. Brubaker has written a book that is being published by that company, and he shows up a couple times to discuss changes that they plan to make in his book. And let's say he often arrives at inconvenient times for Richard, and he gets to make a few trenchant comments about Richard's situation and offer a bit of advice. It's the whole play is really very funny, and I think our scenes contribute to that.
Yeah, you're the not exactly welcome voice in there, aren't you?
Very often,
as my mother always said, "Tain't funny McGee." But that's a whole other thing. So as the show times are this weekend, right? And next weekend too, or just one weekend?
2 weekends. The house opens at 7 on Friday and Saturday. The show starts at 7:30. The house opens at 2 on Sunday and starts at 2:30. And one interesting thing about this, instead of the usual pre-show and intermission music, we will also have a local crooner, a man named Suman, doing Sinatra-style songs for us during before the show and during intermission. So if you want to see that, come right at 7, and he'll be starting, right after 7 o'clock.
Even
Little
if
mini
only for
concert.
that. Pardon me?
A little mini concert.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I like that. That's a great idea. So Bill, you mentioned that there were some surprises in here for you that you really didn't anticipate from this particular script. What were some of those surprises, or shouldn't we know?
Oh, well, I'll try not to give too much away, but in terms of the technical aspect and creating the lights and the sounds, there are a lot of there are a lot of dream sequences, like he said, it takes place in his head. There were a lot of conversations with himself that we had to do, and it was time consuming.
Yeah.
But I'm really loving being behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blocking
Great.
that out is a challenge, huh?
Yeah, and I don't have to memorize any lines.
On the other hand, Scott, you evidently do.
Yes,
Huge role.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. More than you typically would have to memorize.
This is probably easily the toughest role I've ever taken. I had a role as Arthur in Spam-A-Lot, which was a big role, but I had the gift of having Monty Python and the Holy Grail to watch, and I had that pretty much memorized before I even walked in.
Yeah.
This one is starting out from square one.
Yeah, and it's so much different. You can't even watch the movie and say, well, that'll translate, because it's nothing like a stage play.
No. I mean, there's bits and pieces, but they're both separate animals there.
Yeah. Well,
They say the stage production is more raunchy than the film production.
oh yeah,
I've never seen the film production, actually.
that's
Should I
what they
say
say. John Henry's going to analyze that. As you have gone through these rehearsals, though, and you've been working it out, blocking it out, and working with some of the other actors, I'm sure that there are aspects of this production that, as Bill said, there were some surprises for him, for you too, as well, both of you gentlemen.
Oh, yeah, certainly. I mean, there are, I think one of the things that was great is having other people coming in that were helping out in different aspects and hearing them laugh at certain parts of the jokes that would come out. And with us just doing rehearsal, you don't hear anything. When you hear that laugh, it's like, oh, okay, that's something I didn't really think about.
You didn't think it was a laugh line. but
Yeah,
there it is.
and it really opens it up there to think that, it is a much funnier play than you originally thought.
Yeah. And John Henry, sounds like you've got a whole built-in laugh line with your dialogue.
Well,
huh?
I mean, there are a bunch in there.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say that our scenes are the funniest or anything. I mean, the whole play really is. But I just say, our scenes are a part of that.
It's all fun. It's all fun. Right. Terrific. Okay, so next 2 weekends.
Next 2 weekends, if you want to audition for the annual One Act Festival, that'll be in between the shows on Monday and Tuesday, the 5th and the 6th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Check our Facebook.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
And then just show up.
And just show up.
Terrific. Terrific. Ticket information for the shows the next 2 weeks.
Tickets, you can order your tickets at indianaplayers.com. Yeah.
All right. And at the doors.
And at the door, of course.
Very good. Gentlemen, thanks so much for the visit this morning. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Looking forward to the 7-year itch the next 2 weekends at the Philadelphia Street Playhouse. It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. Just about 23 minutes after 9 o'clock, the CBS Sports Minute coming up in a couple. But we need to get this morning's Money Matters report in, and to do that, I believe it's Aaron Rayall this morning. All right, Aaron, thanks so much. Just about 25 minutes after 9 o'clock. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. CBS Sports Minute brought to you by S&T Bank. People Forward Banking.